Yeah, it seems as though even the Oklahoma fan base is giving respect to this most likely being a tough game.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's kind of interesting, Mark. With all of our live stuff that we did, I go back and read a lot of the comments and just kind of get some of the pulse. I think there's a lot of cautious optimism for Oklahoma right now, but they've not seen it. Right. I mean, you've not seen it this year in terms of everything has been close. I mean, and I know that we've compared Oklahoma to that Florida State team a few years back, but you've got a 5-point win against Tulane. You've got a 7-point win against Nebraska. You've got a 3-point win against West Virginia. Then you've got a 6-point win against Kansas State. So, you know, depending on which way you look at it, you're winning the games, which is great. You're finding ways to win all of these games, but at the same time, um, the the competition hasn't been as strong. Oklahoma, the teams that Oklahoma has played thus far this year have a combined record of 9-17, whereas Texas, the teams that they've played, have a combined record of 16-8. So you look at this game, and Texas is a little bit more battle tested, I think, than Oklahoma is in terms of the quality of opponent that they've had. But you have to think at some point this season, Oklahoma is going to be able to play complementary football to one another. Is this the week that it happens? I mean, obviously, it would be the perfect week for it to happen, but I think coming in, there's probably a little bit more trust in what Texas has put out there, just from a consistent perspective versus what Oklahoma has been able to put out there as well.
Oklahoma taking care of business at 5-0, but of course, the play has been substandard across the board. They really haven't had that breakout game, but and certainly within the football facility, they have to be focused on Texas and then the next game, the next game, the next game. But we're here to speculate and talk about whatever we want. And, it could serve them well that Clemson's gone down and that the ACC probably is going to sabotage itself. I don't see it's going to be very difficult for a Wake Forest to continue what they're doing now that they're going to hit some more difficult competition and maintain a undefeated record. Oregon losing over the weekend against Stanford, if they continue to be the flag bearer of the Pac-12, could really serve Oklahoma despite their struggles if they can make it through, where it looks as though the ACC and the Pac-12 are kind of taking themselves out of the playoff mix.
Yeah, I think, Mark, when you look at the playoffs, I mean, unless something astronomical happens, I mean, Alabama and Georgia are going to be in the playoffs, both of them. I would be shocked if either one of those teams lose a game before the SEC championship game, and then you have to assume that one of the Big Ten teams are going to get in. Whether Iowa or Penn State or Ohio State. So when you look just kind of at the overall picture, you think that it's a few teams here playing for probably one spot. I mean, there's a chance that the Big Ten could beat each other up enough,
Mm-hmm.
they could lose that, but it's hard to see, with Iowa at 3, Penn State at 4, and Ohio State. They're back in the top 10 this week, I believe. I can't remember what the
Yeah,
actual
I
number
think they're
was.
up to 7.
Yeah, so you got to think that one of those, but then again, Oklahoma's right in the mix with a mix with a Cincinnati. I've seen a lot of questions about this year, this week. Now, Cincinnati is very much a player in the in the college football playoff, because I mean, again, I would be about as shocked if Cincinnati loses a game as I would is if Alabama or Georgia would lose a game based on the competition that they play the remainder of the year. So I think everything's still there. I think the one thing that's lost in terms of how Oklahoma struggled, and the outlook from the I think from the Oklahoma fans is really one of which that it almost appears like Oklahoma wasn't coming in here last year like they were with 2 losses, whereas they're still undefeated. They're still a top 10 team, and so even though they've struggled, the good thing is they still have everything. Everything's still available for them as much as has been in the past. If they keep winning, some of these teams ahead of them are going to knock each other out. I mean, obviously, one of the two of Penn State and Iowa are on Saturday. So you have that opportunity. They've just got to be able to put themselves in a position to put that together if they can.